Hello and welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wrap. It's great to have you with us on this Thursday, the 10th of February. I'm Peter Schwing, and here's what's happening. What does Apple's AI music acquisition mean? beatBread completes a $34 million seed round. Concerts canceled after a UK promoter goes bust. And another NFT music scam. It's almost like this has become a weekly tradition. But first, let's take a look at what's happened in this day in music history. All right. So this we honored those who have passed away on this date. And in 1975, Dave Alexander, who's the original bassist for the Stooges, died of pneumonia at the age of 27. And in 2006, record producer and MC James DeWitt Yancey, aka J Dilla or JD, died of a rare blood disease at his home in Los Angeles. Born on this day in 1937, Roberta Flack, U.S. singer-songwriter who had the hits The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face and Killing Me Softly with his song. Cliff Burton in 1962, he was the original bass player with Metallica. He was killed on September 27, 1987, when the band's tour bus crashed as it was traveling between Stockholm and Copenhagen. All right, and this day in history is where I like to find some fun tidbits. 1978. Van Halen released their self-titled debut album and was peaked at number 19 on the Billboard 200. The album went on to sell more than 10 million copies in the U.S. And in 2017, Universal Records struck a deal to release much of the late musician Prince's private archive. Universal said the deal gave an exclusive licensing rights to Prince's highly anticipated trove of unreleased works. It had also acquired the rights to 25 albums that Prince released through NPG Records, the label that he founded. All right, and that's this day in history, and let's see what's going on in the news. All right, welcome back. This is my second week of doing this on the broadcast, and it's great to see some of the people on LinkedIn Live. I know I see people catching the broadcast over in Connect Club and LinkedIn Live. We're all over the place right now, so it's great to see you. If you have any, you want to add to the chat, feel free to add into the chat. And for the people in Connect Club, how you doing? I will pop in there afterwards if you want to jump on the stage and we can continue the conversation. And with that being said, let's head over to the first article for today, and that is Apple buys startup music AI. Startup AI music. So what might the plans be for Apple? So they could have bought AI Music, the company in the UK that was stated to make music with artificial intelligence and change existing songs into new ones. Bloomberg reported that the deal was done in the last few weeks. A lot of people have talked about the importance, like humans were at Apple when it launched the Apple Music streaming service in 2015. But now the company has bought a company that makes algorithms that can help people make music. This has been a contentious discussion for the last few years about also who owns the copyrights. But the most important thing is what is Apple going to do with the systems? So let's go over what AI music was. In 2017, it came out for the first time. And it didn't come out of hiding for a few months. The company stressed that, quote, "We're not generating music from scratch. We're looking at using AI to shift the way in which music is consumed with the technology for shape-changing music from one genre or mood to another." So people in technology from AI music, well, that's a good mix from Apple. So they could use them to help a lot with other things. When making game soundtracks, AI could be used. Apple tools for AI, for iOS game developers might be able to use this kind of AI. Maybe Apple Fitness could use it to change the music to match how hard you work out. So it's going to be really interesting. Yes, Stanislav was like, yes, sounds like something Apple would buy, and absolutely that is exactly something that Apple would buy. All right, let's move on to artist advanced startup beatBread completes a $34 million seed round. The multi-million-dollar investment was led by San Francisco-based venture capital firm Decians Capital, which also received backing from Credit One bank backer IAG, IAG Capital Partners, and Wake Partners for Capital, among other fintech-focused investors. Since its inception of November of 2020, Utah-based beatBread claims to have had made more than 300 advances to artists and companies that range in size from $1,000 to $2 million. Higher-ups make advances based on, in part, of the applicant's visibility on streaming services, and the startup's website states that musicians may not qualify for cash if they do not consistently get 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. In terms of the logistics of these advances, beatBread's website states that the company will distribute payments against catalog royalties or income from prospective releases, with applicants choosing the term, duration, and included music. Recipients are allegedly free to use the funds as they see fit, and the language further emphasizes that the balance on advances will not grow in size or influence long-term ownership of the underlying intellectual property. All right, so I mean, this is, we've seen a few other these companies pop up about, being able to, funding. We've seen fractionalization ownership. So this is it's really great to see that there is financing and investment going into these types of companies to help artists with their career. So it's fantastic to see. So let's head over to some tech news. All right. Now we turn to what's happening around the world in tech. Well, always something going on in NFT land. This one, music industry turns ire to another unauthorized NFT platform, and that's the headline that Billboard threw out there, and I love it. Last week it was Hit Piece, and this week we have a new player in town causing outrage. NFT Music Stream, also known as Streamer. On Monday, if you were on Twitter, you were catching another one of these selective outrages, and it was pretty fantastic of the type of responses that were happening. So the site announced, I'm going to get back to that in a second, but the site announced on Twitter early on Tuesday, February 8th, that it would issue a statement soon in response to allegations of music appearing on its site without artist consent. The company's purpose, according to NFT Music Streamer's tweets, is to, quote, cut out the middleman of labels and distributors. According to their website, quote, we have established a decentralized music distribution and royalty management system to better reward artists and their fans. In a beautiful music player interface, NFT Music Stream connects fans directly with its artists. Continuing in a series of tweets that was getting a lot of pushback and a lot of blocking. If they were saying that the NFT Music Stream emphasized that people are missing the point of the project, and that's a quote, and underlined that NFT Music Stream pays streamer YouTube music directly to the host music on its site. There's a lot going on here. So they even said, quote, NFT Music Stream compensates for the music offered. When a song is played, royalties are paid to the artist through their YouTube agreement. We are not minting NFTs with bulk subscription music. This free service is provided to our users at our own expense. They went on to say, if you would wish to be removed, we will honor your wishes and remove it for you. Simply email verification@nftmusic.stream. The fourth and last tweet addressing concerns promised, quote, we are on your side and are going to turn the industry on its head by cutting out the middleman and giving you profit control. A few things here you just even discussing was, they said to, you can opt out, and this goes along with what Hit Piece was doing and many in the tech space have done, where it's do first, ask for forgiveness later, and why should it be the responsibility of the artist to opt out? People that on Twitter were then questioning and saying, take down my music, responding to their tweets. And what was happening is they were getting blocked. And it wasn't like just one or two. There were people that any time somebody questioned their intent, immediately blocked. And this is, I knew people, it was so, this is their customer service. Don't question us, we will block you. So you can find me at Pete Schwing at Twitter. If you aren't happy with what I'm saying here, go ahead, block me. Anyway, this as Billboard covered this, I'm shocked this one also hasn't ramped up in other media outlets. But check this out. I mean, they talk about this bulk distribution, bulk licensing with YouTube Music, saying that they are going to be able to say, once the artist says, yes, we completely agree, they're going to pull the artist from this distribution bucket that they're pulling the music from YouTube, from this license they have, and then they're going to collect the royalties and pay them directly from the platform. I'm just, some lawyers have fun with this one. There's already cease and desist letters going out there, and I think the best one I have to say is somebody put up sent out their cease and desist letter and then minted it as an NFT. So to add to the irony, it is a man. Yeah, they're minting an NFT of the cease and desist letter. So yeah, YouTube is already getting their cut, so the middleman is still there. And yeah, thank you, Stanislav. This is another thing. They're saying we're going to get rid of the middleman, but yet by doing that, they are making themselves the middleman. All right, we'll see what goes on. Keeps on going with that. We'll keep an eye out. This one, Reddit Talk. So we like to talk a little about tech and what keeps you going. Just some updates here. I mean, we've had Clubhouse Spaces. I forgot about Green Rooms. Anybody actually use Green Room over at Spotify? Or are we just hung up on Joe Rogan and all that and Neil Young? Yeah, that's a whole different story. We're not going to get into this. But with all these audio products, Reddit rolled out one called Reddit Talk, and they are offering new expanded services there. So I just want to give you a quick update. From the launch of its Clubhouse clone in April, it's expanding the Reddit Talk with additional features aimed at increasing participation. Web compatibility, recordings of previous sessions, live commentary during talks, and a live bar at the top of the home feed, similar to Twitter's, that reveals what live chats are taking place, are among the new features. They go on to say in the last 3 months, we've seen more than a 250% increase in daily active Reddit Talk listeners, the firm noted on its blog. Talks may still be created on Reddit's iOS and Android apps, but the ability to start a chat on desktop will be available later this month. At the moment, only Reddit moderators, which are the volunteers who do their best to keep things civil and orderly in subreddits, hats off to you volunteers, moderators, they can initiate the live discussions. That can apply to They can apply to host a talk by filling out a Google form. Given the difficulties that platforms like Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse have had with content filtering, this may be a decent approach for Reddit to keep things under control for the time being. Yeah, it's we've seen these audio platforms quite a bit where it's like everything starts off nice and rosy, and then once you open the floodgates, it gets a little crazy. So I know Fireside Chat was another audio app. To be even on the platform, you had to apply. It was a simple application. Great platform. We're not going to be on that one. But it's really good for other talks. And you also apply to be a content creator. So. With that being said, let's move over to what's next here. We're going to talk about some musical chairs. All right, musical chairs. And this is where we give a nice little shout out to those people who are making waves in the industry, the movers and the shakers. Allegra Wilsner has been promoted to the lead of global sync licensing at BMG. Previously serving as Los Angeles-based senior vice president sync licensing, Wilsner will now be responsible for overseeing and supporting BMG's global sync licensing business. Alex Branson joins Beatport as Senior Vice President of Music Services. In the newly created role, he will oversee the growing suite of professional tools and services the company is developing for distributors, labels, and artists. And Brandra Ringo was named Executive Vice President of A&R, Quality Control Music, and Wayno Clark also joins as Vice President of A&R. Congratulations on those well-deserved moves. All right, so I didn't mean to kick that button. Let's go back over here and let's do this. All right. Yep, sometimes when you're doing it all yourself, you hit the wrong button. All right, so, I just want to give you an update. This is what's going on in the community. All right, it's Community Update, Music Industry City. We'd like to welcome many of our new subscribers to the city. Laura June Clark, Subi Cheng, Derek Chime, Adrian McIntosh, Ken Coleman, and Dmitry Kovachev. Welcome to Music Industry City. Glad you could join us. And make sure you're signed up at musicindustrycity.com to stay on top of all our programming and events. You can find us and join in the conversation on many audio and video platforms throughout the week. All right, and that does it for today's broadcast. Weekly wrap this Thursday. I made it through. Next time I'm going to make sure I don't hit the wrong button. Thank you all again for tuning in. I hope to get to see you again next week. I'm Peter Schwing. Have a rockin' day.